Guys, just stay back. I'm listening to you.
The memory will never go away. Yeah.
How does it feel just standing here again?
It feels, yeah, it's tough, yeah. But I know I'm a strong girl and, you know, I'll overcome anything, and so will my son, my family.
Of Yemini in Sydney, Australia, outside the New South Wales Parliament. I'm here today to bring you some massive news. If you've been following us for a while, you'll remember one of our first Fight the Fines cases that you probably helped us fight. It was Victor Tay, who was exercising out here during a lockdown, and he was fined, arrested. The other matter you'll remember was heartbreaking. The world watched on in horror as Renee's child was ripped from her arms. Right behind me. Following what happened to you, we saw what became the new norm. Your situation became the new norm. And what we really want to do with the help of people at home is to change that, to flip the norm, to teach the police that actually, no, the police brutality on that day in May 2020, that wasn't okay.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't.
I can tell you today, with your help, we're taking their fight to the Supreme Court.
What we have is obviously two very, very serious cases where very high-profile people in essentially the last 12 months have been treated quite callously when they are engaging in political speech, when they are voicing their opinion in public, and when they are engaging a democratic right, which has been fundamental to our country for at least the last century.
We need a precedent-changing outcome. Fightthefines.com.au if you're willing and able to help us again to escalate this matter, to take it to the top, to hopefully really change something in our country and certainly in this state. Donate what you can. Fightthefines.com.au. Without you, none of this is possible.
When the pandemic first hit, and this was all the way back in April 2020, I mean, it was very restricted what you could and couldn't do. And I was really upset that, hey, well, you aren't even allowed to gather. So if you wanted to protest these laws, how would you even do it? So a couple of mates and me got together and we sort of thought, well, you know what are we allowed to do? We're allowed to exercise. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to go out, I'm going to go and exercise, but at the same time, I'm going to hold a sign and let the government know and let the people know what I thought about this lockdown.
The police brutality needs to stop. So going to the Supreme Court feels great. I felt like when we're in the Magistrates Court, it just didn't feel right that the magistrate didn't have jurisdiction over the case because of the matters that we are fighting, the constitutional matters. So yeah, I feel really awesome to be in that position to be taking it to Supreme Court. And of course, thank you to you guys for making that happen.
19 months ago, when I started walking outside Parliament House with a friend, I didn't know what was going to become of this. I didn't know, was it going to make a difference? I thought, if I did get a fine, I would just go to court, try my best to, fight that fine myself and, maybe just get hit with the fine and so be it. At least I tried to do something. But now, because of Rebel News and because of your generous supporters, I'm so pumped about this Supreme Court challenge, because now our case is going to be the one that actually goes to the Supreme Court and is going to fight for our right to protest, our right to freedom of political expression. And, I'm just so glad that Rebel News has taken this on, and, we can potentially help thousands of others that are in the same situation.
Why are we taking it to the Supreme Court and not straight to the High Court?
As a matter of practice, the High Court doesn't like to deal with matters that have not had the facts settled. So the purpose of taking it to the Supreme Court first is essentially we get the facts settled in the case, we get the questions of law settled by a judge first, and then after that, if we win, we'd be expecting that the state will appeal, and that appeal would most likely go to the High Court, or if we lose, potentially we'll be appealing to the High Court, essentially on the questions of law, given that the facts have already been settled in the case. So it's a point of procedure that we take it to the Supreme Court first.
I think I speak on behalf of the thousands watching this at home, like I told Renee. is thank you. Like I said, you were one of the pioneers of this pushback. Yeah. Even when I remember I told you at the time, I said, it's really unpopular now, but I know what you're doing soon is going to become much more mainstream. And if you look at what's happening in Melbourne right now, as we stand here, there are thousands marching in Melbourne. Yeah. So thank you. And yes, indeed, thank all the supporters at home at fightthefines.com.au that are donating, that helped us get as far as this, helped get the first charge dropped, but now helping us take it all the way to the Supreme Court. It's not cheap. It's about $150,000. But
expensive.
And we've already put money into trust because we know that the people watching this will chip in, because not only they believe in you and they've seen you stand there the whole time, you and Renee, and actually not only talk, but you guys have acted and put yourself on the line and have withstood everything against all odds, and now you're taking your fight to that Supreme Court.
Yes, thank you so much for supporting it.
What would you like to say to those at home that watched our first report, saw what happened to you, and have donated so far, and that are now going to again contribute to this obviously far more expensive fight? What would you like to say to them?
Yeah, look, everyone, we need the funds. We need to set a precedence. We need to set this standard. If we don't, we've got no future. So whether it be a small donation, as much as you can, to try and set this standard that it's not okay.
Why is it so worth it for the viewer now watching this to chip in?
Essentially, if we can take this matter all the way and we can get a successful outcome in this matter, the right to protest will be preserved no matter what strain comes next and no matter what strain of authoritarian thinking might pop up in the society. The right to protest is something which is preserved for all Australians, whether you are on the far left or on the far right of politics. As long as you are peacefully protesting, you should have the right in this country to go out and express your opinion. That's something which is fundamental to who we are as a country, and that's essentially what the purpose of this case is to preserve.
This is going to be a precedent-setting case if we win this. And like I said, it's going to help thousands of people in the same situation. So thank you so much, guys, for getting behind us and supporting the cause.
Thank you so much, because without you, I mean, it's okay for me to stand here and be the victim of what's happened, but without you, it wouldn't happen. It just wouldn't, you know, and the rights would go further down the drain a lot quicker.
So the purpose of our action in the Supreme Court is effectively to challenge whether or not this has been constitutional, to challenge whether or not these public health orders can, in fact, suppress someone's political speech, and whether they can suppress protests. What we say is that that's not the case, that's not the purpose of these laws, and that even if that was the purpose, it's not constitutional, because this country is, at its foundation, a democratic country. It requires representative government, and in order for you to have a representative democracy, you require people being able to express their opinions, even if they're adverse to the government's agenda of the day.
That's why I think this case is so important, because I actually did make it a point to go out and try and actually keep those laws, but at the same time express my opposition to what was going on. And that's why this case is quite interesting, because it's actually testing, well, even if you're keeping the laws, are you not allowed to express any opposition to what was going on?
In terms of Supreme Court proceedings, it's extremely logistically difficult and at the same time financially burdensome. So thank you to everyone who's supported us thus far. Thank you for supporting us in relation to all the cases, not just this one. On this one, we still need your support. If you are able to pitch in and help us out so that we can bring on senior counsel, so that we can push this all the way to the High Court, that is exactly what we need. So thank you very much.
And I can tell you on behalf of thousands around Australia and indeed around the world, I want to thank you, because the fight you're taking on now, so what happened to you was horrible, but the fight you're taking on now is going to set a precedent, and without you and your bravery and your strength, we couldn't do this.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, thank you. And just have courage, everybody. I think courage is the main thing. What can man do to us? You know, greater is God that's in me than the man that's in the world.
Guys, none of this is possible without your help. So first, like, comment and share this story far and wide. Let the world know we are fighting back together. Then head over to fightthefines.com.au. Even if you've given before, please, if you can and you're willing, donate again at fightthefines.com.au to ensure that we raise that 100,000 we need, and if possible, more, to also get that QC. Fightthefines.com.au. Thank you so much.